Hoops is a mode that showcases aerial control and impressive aerial plays. It's played on a smaller map than Standard and is only officially available as a ranked 2v2. Every mistake is punishable because every touch has a chance to launch the ball into the net. The challenge is that the ball must go up and then fall into the basket from above. This means that Hoops can be a great training tool. It's good for aerial touches, wall movement, ball control, and creativity. I personally used it to learn how to fly while using Snow Day to learn the basics of rotations and 50-50s. You can hear more about that in my video, The Case for Snow Day. It's good to note that I'm a champ in Standard and Hoops, and still regularly play it today. I should be more than capable of pointing out ways that this mode can help you train. We're going to start by talking about low rank Hoops, which is very challenging, but quite rewarding. And we're going to define low rank as being below Platinum in 2s or 3s. Even though bronzes do fall into this category, I believe that they'll get the most by starting out in Snow Day, learning to hit the puck, and then going on to Standard where they can start working with the ball and playing Hoops after they hit Silver. We should start by talking about something that is very difficult for people in the lower ranks. The tip-off or jump ball occurs at the start of every match and after every goal. This resembles a real-life basketball tip-off, which is a jump ball to start the game. This is an extreme challenge for lower ranks because they're not just trying to fly high, they're also trying to do an aerial 50-50. Before we get into how you can get better at the tip-off, or how it can help you in other game modes, we should probably start with who should even go for the ball. Let's not worry about bump kickoffs for the moment, because we need to worry about what lower ranks are doing first. It's worth remembering that I'm a champ in Hoops, and I have never seen a bump kickoff in a game. The first priority for the ball is going to be the person who is behind the boost pad, directly going towards the ball. Not only do they have the easiest angle to hit the ball, they've also got a boost pad that will let them go faster and reach it first. The second priority is the person who is left behind the free throw line. Even if the other person's on the free throw line and they are on equal positioning, the general rule is left goes. The third priority is the person who's on the free throw line on the right side. The fourth priority is the person who is outside of the key on the left side. And the fifth and final person is the person outside of the key on the right side. Now, I said that left goes in Rocket League, and there's no good reason for that other than removing ambiguity. If you feel that you have a better kickoff, maybe you should call for it. If you have a worse kickoff, maybe you should try to improve it and go ahead and call for it. You will never get better if you don't take kickoffs. The thing is that if you both call for it, then you should probably both go, because there's nothing worse than when two people call for it, neither of them go, and there's a free goal. Tip-offs can be absolutely chaotic, and a lot of goals are scored by them. For this reason, even if you have a 3 or 4 goal deficit in the last minute, I recommend that you go ahead and try and play through for the W, because it happens pretty often. Now that we've covered who goes for kickoff, maybe we should discuss how you take a kickoff and what you're aiming for, and how it improves your abilities. So the first thing is that you should aim to at least get a jump and a flip when you're a low rank player. Even if you're not ready to aerial yet, jumping will give you an advantage. And you need to start working on jumping just a little bit higher every time so that you get there sooner than your opponent. Over time, you really want to work on getting there by flying to the ball. The trick is that you're always trying to push your abilities just a little bit. You want to aim to do just above what you can consistently do. Yes, you're going to whiff. Yes, you're going to have bad touches, but yes, you're going to start making connections. Don't feel bad, there are whiffs at all levels. Even up in Champ, you're going to see whiffs. Even up in Grand Champ and SSL, at RLCS, you see whiffs. But the whiffs are always because somebody is pushing themselves as much as they can, and they try something that just didn't quite work out. And you're only going to get better if you keep trying to do things that are just a little bit too hard. Now, I'm encouraging you to get higher and higher on your kickoffs, and also getting there first. Now, for most of your Rocket League career, you're not going to cleanly beat your opponent to the ball and sink it straight into their net. You're going to hit a point where you get back to where your opponents can play on your level. And what you're going to want to do is do a successful aerial 50-50 with your opponent. Every tip-off in Hoops is a chance to practice your aerial 50-50s. You want to keep the ball from going towards your own net, while at the same time pushing it to the sides, above your opponent, below your opponent, or sandwiching the ball so that your teammate can come take a shot when you all fall down. You will need to play and actually get experience in all this to get better, so why don't we move on to shooting and how shooting in Hoops can help you in other game modes. Now again, we are largely talking right now for people who are silver and gold. So you've probably not hit a lot of aerial goals at this point. You're not ready to dunk it. It's hard to score in this game mode because you can't keep the ball on the ground, and you have to find other ways to pop it up that don't involve dunking it. Let's take a second to consider the shape of the net and how it affects scoring. Notice that the rim is forward of the net, and it can push the ball away if it rolls up. The ball can't simply ramp in unless it hits the net before it gets to the rim and it has enough forward momentum to go over. If the ball hits at the wrong angle, it could go flying back towards your own goal. What happens the most, however, is that the ball will ramp up the net, tap the rim on the way up, and then float above and just in front of the goal so that someone can come in for an easy dunk. This means that skee-balling the ball into the net is not your first choice of a shot. The first shot that you should learn is simply driving into the ball so that it pops up into the air and falls into the net. The ball will launch at a different angle depending on which hitbox your car uses. The difference is subtle, but it's there. Taller cars tend to hit with lower angles. If you want to know more about the shot angle that happens based on your hitbox, go to Rocket Science and watch a video called The Merc Preset Explained. The comparison happens at 1 minute and 29 seconds. At any rate, you can think of driving straight into the ball as the granny shot of hoops. It does help you pop the ball if the ball is either slow, stopped, or rolling towards you, and you do need to be the right distance. If you're too close, then it may hit the rim and bounce off. If you're too far, it may hit the rim and it'll bounce off. It may bounce off the backboard too hard and come out, or you could miss just because you have a steep angle that you're working with. Aiming for the backboard when you first start will definitely help, and I would also highly suggest that you aim to hit the square whenever you take your shot. You can fine-tune it once you get the feeling for how the ball bounces. This granny shot will give you a feel for how the ball comes off the wall in standard Rocket League, and that's an essential skill. That will be good for learning how to elevate a shot, and for seeing how it comes off the wall for a rebound. Another consistent shot that's going to help you is the basic jumper. You're just going to go under the ball and let it hit your roof in the air. It's good in combination with other shots because if something bounces off the rim, you can just drive up to it and give it a little boop from underneath and try and sink it into the net. The ability to pop the ball straight up will always have room in your repertoire. You'll be surprised what a little boop can do to defenders. It can be absolutely devastating as a fake, and is still very powerful as both a shot or a pass. As you get better and more comfortable with the game, you can start to try flipping into the ball in order to get just the right angle on it or to impart more power on it. You can also start trying to do basic aerials where you jump and then you boost into the ball and maybe try pushing it to the net or towards somewhere that you just want it to go. You can also start rotating your car to hit it at a different angle or adjust the amount of power you get off the hit. Another effective technique that you're going to want to work on is using the corner to bounce the ball and get it on towards the net. Corners and walls make for easy shots, and their basic form is effective for a very long time. It even works at higher level play if players are demoed or out of position. Using the corners and walls to send the ball is also an important skill in standard, and good placement is going to make it hard to handle for a long time. Shooting the ball off the corner will also give you a chance to understand corner reads. Hoops is fantastic for learning to work on the wall. One very early shot that you could try taking is rolling the ball up the backboard so that it falls into the net. This shot can be a lot harder to make because it's very easy to send it too far over the net, or to simply send it straight up and miss the net entirely. It's also a shot that isn't very potent for very long because it's a very easy one to save. Someone just has to drive at the wall. However, that's a very important step towards learning how to roll a ball up the wall to begin with. Rolling the ball up the wall for a wall shot will be effective for the rest of your Rocket League career. Your earliest wall shot should go straight on net, towards the corner to bounce towards net, or down towards your teammate. In the beginning, it's fine if you only touch the ball once to get it off the wall, but you eventually want to jump off the wall, follow it, and at least get a second touch off of it. Wall skills are going to carry over to standard play, and hoops will make the wall play happen more often so you get a whole lot more practice with it. One thing that's going to be difficult to improve when you're still in the early ranks is going to be your ability to save the ball. You're going to start out and your best bet's going to be jump under the ball when it's in your net. You might knock it up high enough that you can get it back out, You'll also want to start dabbling with how to use your flip so that you can get a hard hit on the ball so that you can knock it away from your net, and flying towards the ball as you get more comfortable with that. If you've started to pick up on wall play, this is an excellent time to start applying that, except on the back wall. It's going to be a lot like working on the back wall to defend in Standard, but you have to be more careful about not knocking the ball straight down. As you get better of each of the skills that I've mentioned, you're going to be getting towards at least Platinum. Do take some time to go back into Standard, find out which hoop skills that you can work on next, and come back in and focus on those. One of the difficulties in talking to people who are Plat, Diamond, Champ, and above is that really you need to know what you need to work on and go work on it. The thing about hoops is that it gives you more opportunities to work on other things, like if you need to work on your air dribbles, your wall shots, your ability to dunk the ball, double taps, passes, wall defense. These are all things that the mode is good for helping you with by putting you in situations where you need to do it more often. You also really get the benefit that your target is going to be flat on the ground instead of a small target on the side of the wall. A little margin of error isn't necessarily a bad thing for training. As you start to get better at Rocket League and in hoops, you'll start to notice just how good and different the mode is, and how it's kind of an underutilized mode. It doesn't get hatred like Snow Day does, but it definitely isn't played nearly as much as it really deserves to be. It's new, it's interesting, it's refreshing if you only play Standard Rocket League. It vies with Drop Shot for most mechanical mode. I would actually give that edge to Drop Shot. However, Drop Shot's a mode that I don't particularly enjoy. I've barely played it, and I don't feel that I know enough about it to give you a video on how it can be helpful to you. Although I do think that really the skills are going to be very similar to what hoops can offer you. Even though I don't personally like Drop Shot, I feel that it's another way that you can go and practice different things without feeling like it's practice. I encourage you to try it. Maybe you'll like it, maybe it'll be your favorite mode. It's not mine, but I'm not going to diss it. Anyway, I hope that you found this video helpful. Maybe you found some things that are going to help you train better, or maybe you found your new favorite game mode. And if not, let me know. I'm going to continue the series about how to play the game in ways that it doesn't feel like you're training, but you are. I hope to see you in the next one.